Let me tell you how it will be. It's one for you, 19 for me. Well, as I said, I was going to give more information on the sale of TNA and the lawsuit from Billy Corgan as things came out. Well, I don't have the details yet, but there is, of course, more bad news as far as TNA is concerned. It's being reported um, that TNA does owe $3.4 million to both Arlux Marketing, the company owned by fronted by the Harris brothers, that have paid for at least one round of TNA tapings, and also the parent company of the Fight Network. I don't exactly have that those notes exactly, but those are a combined $3.4 million as far as those two entities are concerned. Now, it should also be noted that TNA has sold some of its video library. Sorry about that. Has sold some of its video library to the Fight Network. As we all know, WWE was interested in the video library, so that possibly we have to engage in negotiations as far as that aspect as well. Now, this $3.4 million does not include what TNA owes Billy Corgan, or what Dixie Carter owes him personally, which could be part of the lawsuit. But in addition to that, the state of Tennessee has put a lien on TNA properties due to unpaid taxes. Those numbers also have not been disclosed. So that's just, if that's the case, if they aren't paid, TNA could forfeit their properties, which I think is just exclusively the what used to be where the TNA shop offices were located, but that's now their main offices. As I mentioned, they had to close their corporate offices in the posh section of Nashville due to the fact that they just couldn't afford to keep that open. Now, again, I mentioned that October 20th there's going to be a hearing, and that the details of Corgan's lawsuit, which have been sealed until then, those are going to be discussed. And the situation could get even worse, depending upon how much money is owed Corgan. Now, again, this all seems to be a very dire situation, and it certainly looks that way. However, Jeremy Borash, may know as an announcer for Impact. Well, he's also a producer, a booker, and fills several roles. Well, he said, I believe it was, if I can bring it up here. Okay, it's not on my thing. It's not on this article that I have. But Jeremy Borash recently said that morale is very high at TNA, and that not to believe everything. Now he said he heard all the rumors about all this is happening. WWE wants to have a library. Lucha Underground could buy us. That one is news, because we've never heard a hide nor hair of the people behind El Rey Network, who are the folks behind Lucha Underground, interested in buying TNA. But again, you have this situation where, a lot of money is owed, which could be more than what the company is worth. And if a if a sale goes through, whoever buys TNA will be on the hook for all this, which again, of at least $3.4 million that we know of, plus what Corrigan's owed, plus the tax debt, and apparently there are some issues as far as music licensing. If you watch the last episode of Impact, DJ Z's and Michael Bennett's music was muted, or in fact, not. Or I think if you watch it live, not there, because they didn't. I guess they couldn't afford the licensing for that music. Again, like I said, this is a situation that sounds really, really bad, and I mean like catastrophic bad. As Dave Meltzer put it on Twitter, the walls are closing in. Now we all know Meltzer's never been a fan. Is not really TNA's number one fan, and TNA isn't Meltzer's number one fan, but it just seems that way. So again, October 20th, we have this hearing. I believe also a possible injunction is going to be discussed in this hearing. Now, as we also know, however, there is one thing that has been talked about, and that was the restraining order. I believe I mentioned this in my previous episode. The injunction against, or the restraining order against Dixie Carter. It's now detailed. Dixie Carter cannot set foot on TNA property. However, I also have noticed she has still tried to promote the company via her Twitter account. Now, again, you have this lawsuit that Corrigan's launched. Now, we know the defendants. Impact Ventures, Dixie herself. I wrote it down, and of course I use my whiteboard for other things. The chief financial officer, as well as her husband, as well as Dixie's husband, Serge. All four have been named as defendants in this lawsuit. So, this is another situation we have in the peripherals of professional wrestling where it's going to get crazy. And you don't know where it's going to go, but again, I'm going to try to monitor the situation as best I can with my limited resources, but again, stay tuned and don't be afraid to check out your own social media or any news sites you follow. Because, like I said, this is going to be a very bad situation, quite possibly. I mean, it is a bad situation now, but you're talking about a situation that can possibly get even worse as it goes on, and again, more as it follows. Finally, I get to talk about some good news in the world of pro wrestling. A show that I don't talk about a lot. I do watch it, though, and I do like it. Lucha Underground. For those of you who don't watch it, honestly, you should. It's a great show. It's a great show, great experience. And now, apparently, they're going to start touring. A lot of people have been asking about this, wondering if they could go see it live. Again, so far the only times you've been able to see Lucha Underground live is if you're lucky enough to get to the Boyle Heights section of Los Angeles where the show is filmed. Now there was another, I know they did participate, I believe it was earlier this year. Lucha Underground did have an event at the South by Southwest Festival in Austin, Texas. Well, Lucha Underground announced, or El Rey Network announced, that Lucha Underground has at least 3 dates where they're going to be doing live events. I do actually happen to have them here for you. So if you happen to be in these areas at these times, it's always it's always fun to watch live wrestling. I tell people all the time, if you get the opportunity to watch it live, take the opportunity. It's always worth it, and more often than not, you're gonna always have a good time. So the dates are on October 23rd. They will be in Phoenix, Arizona. On October 30th, in Houston, Texas, and in November 5th in San Diego, California. So again, Phoenix, October 23rd, Houston, October 30th, and San Diego on November 5th. God, I wish these companies were paying me to talk about their stuff, but like I said, besides the fact that it's Lucha Underground has been a great show. Many are considering it one of the top companies out there now. It's live wrestling, and you should always go see live wrestling. So if you get the chance, go check out these live shows of Lucha Underground. Like I said, that's all I have right now. And I hope there's more of these because, I know I've heard Lucha Underground has been kind of iffy as far as its funding, and as we know, most pro wrestling companies make the majority of their money on live events. So this could help them out. It could help them grow and branch out. And like I said, I enjoy the show. I'm sure if you watch it, you would too. And if you're in these areas, these dates, go see a wrestling show. Have a good time. Well, that's going to do it for this episode of The Guido Goes Off. I've probably been a little long-winded about certain things, but like I said, this is a very interesting time right now in the world of professional wrestling. If you have anything to say about the topics I covered on this episode, feel free to drop a line in the comment section below. And as always, you can talk to me at any time via my social medias. Right now it's just Twitter and Facebook. At r_man_Guido. If I decide to branch out into other social medias, I will let you guys know. And again, as always, feel free to like this video, share it with other people, and of course, if you love this show, please subscribe. It really does help me out. I did just recently get another subscriber, and I appreciate that. That's what keeps me going, why I keep doing this. If you people keep watching, I'm going to keep doing it. Again, I'm the Guido, and I think we're done here.